some ants and mayflies. Still working on that gift box. So we'll do some ants, mayflies, and maybe a few other patterns if we get inspired. Let's get our thread manageable. Just go with a simple patterns to start with, and then we'll get slightly more complex. Get our bobbin threaded first. I'm thinking to start dubbing body with a few hackle turns, a simple ant pattern, and maybe a wing, some kind of wing material. Try that to begin with. Let's get a hook, something small. Here's a good size. I'm not a big ant guy. So this is a pupa hook. It's curved, but I'm going to use it for the dry fly. And then we will use a synthetic dubbing. So the key to the ant is the proportions. And the abdomen, I think, is slightly less than the thorax. That's at least how I'm going to dress it to begin with. So abdomen, slightly less than the thorax. Then the other thing I'm going to pay attention to is the leg placement, where to put the legs. So I'm creating a little dubbing ball. I'm going to need to do a little bit more for the thorax. Does this matter? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if this matters. So we'll do a little dubbing ball for the thorax. We'll come up, we'll leave that thin, and then we'll do wing, few fibers, CDC. I think it looks better than the polypropylene. So we'll do a few CDC fibers. Color-wise, I think gray is better than white, but we might have to go white. See if we have a scrap feather in here. Here's a little gray tuft. You can kind of see. Yeah, let's tie that in. This will be our wing. I'm going to tie it short. And we'll extend that out. That'll be our little wing. And you could do like a parachute. And I think I'm going to wrap a hackle to begin with. And we'll place it right in the middle. Clean up that wing a little bit. And place it right toward the middle. And not a lot of turns. Maybe one turn, two. turns. Call that good. I should have cinched it closer to the wraps. I'm going to end up having to trim this a bit. And then another little ball of dubbing. Tie that in front of our hackle. Don't trap the hackle. Then that is our thorax. Then we're done. That's it. A little ant. Can you do much better? Maybe. You could like do like a parachute or something, but I'm not really worried about buoyancy. The fish sometimes like the old sunken ant. But that's as complicated as I'd get on an ant pattern. That's just me. One ant down. Ants do get pretty big though. There are big ants out there. Let's do one more variation. Maybe we try to tie it a little bit bigger size. What do we got? That's a 12 standard hook. That's a jigged hook. Yeah, that's the one we want right there. Okay. You could do foam as well, but I'm kind of thinking I don't like foam ants. So we'll try to do different material. Do like a CDC body. And draw the feather back. Give it a wrap. And then we'll stop there. That'll be our abdomen section. Looking for hackle pliers. Clip the tip. I'm gonna wrap, and I'm gonna spin one time, wrap, spin once or twice, wrap, spin, wrap, spin. I don't know why I chose this color. But I think it'll work. One last wrap, and then we'll trap it. And then we will tie it down. I'm not going to pick it out, but I am going to trim it a bit. Give it a little shape. You could also do the dubbing style, where you trim all the CDC off and kind of create a dubbing rope. That could also work. Yeah. Then we create our thin section. And we can come with a little wing. Maybe we do a parachute. Yeah, we could do parachute. Some polypropylene. Double this up on itself. Maybe one more time. Pretty thick post. Pretty thick post. But it's really difficult to see a small dark pattern on the water. I'm gonna reposition the hook, slight angle, and I'm going to wrap the thread around the post. Oops. Work slow. Work slow. We're going to travel the thread up the post. That's the goal. I think there's enough on there. Now we can work faster. Nice and tight. We'll travel the thread back down. Reposition. And finish off the body. A little bit of CDC. Tip first. Draw it back, tie it in, hackle pliers, twist it up. I need to think about this actually. I need to travel the thread back because we're going to finish off back here. We're going to wrap toward the eye. And then come back toward the post. Do one more wrap back toward the post. That's not great in terms of being anatomically correct. The thorax and the abdomen are kind of even. Trim the body. We're gonna reposition again and situate the thread up on the post. We'll get our hackle. You could do the CDC here too, but the hackle will look cleaner. Trim the hackle tie-in point, tie the hackle to the post. Some people start the hackle down and then travel it up the post. I've seen that. Hackle is on the post. Wrap the hackle, parachute style down the post. And then finish by trapping the hackle on the post. Trim off the hackle. This is not a good thread for this. Thinner thread would be better. This uni thread is building up a little bit too much. Not good. Not good for this pattern. I'm going to whip it on the post. That's one turn, working slow. That's 2 turns. That's 3 turns. And finish. I really want to cinch it down. I don't want to do another whip because the thread is building up and it's not good. I want it nice and tight. I did trap some of the hackle. So we'll have to trim it out right there. And then we trim out our post as short as you want it. And that is another ant. CDC body, polypropylene post, parachute, hackle. You old parachute ant. I said I wasn't gonna do a foam ant, but for the sake of variety, we will do foam ant. The colors, you could do reddish brown. They call them cinnamon ants. You could, but I think black is the standard color. Take some black 2 mil. Then I'm gonna cut out a strip. And I'm gonna notch a tie-in point. bit, a little bit more even. I'm gonna do the tie-in point. I'm gonna fold it over. I don't know how, you can put a little slack in it if you want. Give it a little bit more bubble. You're gonna want to tie it down, so you could stop here, trim it off, and then re-tie in, or you could try to cover this foam all the way to the hook eye and then fold it back. Your choice. But that's a lot of wraps if you're gonna try to do it to the hook eye. Well, let's try, see what it looks like. I'm gonna measure it out. So now we're on the hook eye. Start covering. Yeah. Then you'd want to fold it back over. Create your head. Cover. Lots of chubby ant. And then trim. Yeah, we're losing segmentation. I don't think that was a good idea. And we're spinning a little bit because I'm wrapping too tight. I better hurry up and finish this. It'll work. A little drop of super glue would prevent the spin. I'm going to use that leftover polypropylene for a wing, just a little touch of it. This is more for the cider to kind of help see the pattern on the water. Fold over that wing at almost the perfect length. Trim it out a bit, and then hackle, but I'm gonna do hair. I'm gonna try to use these moose tips. No, not the tips. Not the tips. Maybe this deer hair. Okay, so trim out a little bit of deer hair. I'm gonna clean it up a touch. I think this is primarily aesthetic, not really functional at this point. Clip our hair to the leg length, clean it up a bit, trim the butts. Let's go ahead and split our thread. Not a great split. We'll insert the hair into the thread. Oh, almost lost it. Into the thread. Removing the clip. Distributing the hair would be nice. I want about one wrap. You need about 1.5 centimeters. Spin up your thread. We're losing it a little bit. And then let the material furl on itself, the thread rather. One more time. Let it furl. The hair is in there pretty good. And I'm gonna crinkle it up. Give it some character. Just pressing it. I don't want them sticking straight out, and they're a little bit long. Give a little character. And then I'm gonna wrap as neatly as I can in one spot. I'm not gonna worry about the hair, which direction it's going, forward, back, doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna stop there and let the thread unravel. Kind of check our work. Honestly, it's kind of luck every time. Sometimes you get good distribution, sometimes you don't. But we need to let the thread unravel. Distribution looks fine to me. The only problem is that the section between the abdomen and head should be much thinner. We tried to cover and then come back. It got too thick. You can do a better job. And get a little whip right behind that head. Center down. And finished. Another ant. So let's overview our ants. So the first ant we tied very nice and dainty. Synthetic dubbing body, little CDC wing, a couple turns of hackle. That's the one I would go with. The second got a little bit more complicated. CDC for the abdomen and thorax, polypropylene post, and then a parachute hackle. Our third ant, which looks more like a beetle, foam folded over, polypropylene wing, deer hair spun as legs. Distribution isn't great. Yeah, but maybe it'll work. I'm not sure. If I was to choose one to tie, it would be this one, just because it's very simple. And I think ants should be simple. So on to the mayflies. The mayflies we're gonna tie today are gonna be a little bit smaller, simple patterns. This is for a birthday box, so 14, 16 practical patterns. Here we go. Let's get our hook going. I'm going to change to an olive thread. Get a little bit closer. And we will thread our bobbin. We'll change from the uni thread to a UTC flat 70. thread started. As always, CDL for the tail. CDL is the best tailing material. Where be the CDL? Take out 3 fibers, measure them out. I like them long. Go ahead, tie them in. Work them up the body. Trim out the butts. For this first one, the body material will just be synthetic dubbing. So we'll take a pinch, work it on our thread loose to start, just to get the measurement. About that much is good. Now start tightening it up. Put the rest of it in the bag. Our thread is high. We want to travel it down. And then we want the dubbing to start right where the tail is tied in. Right there, and then we'll travel up. And we have a bit too much. So we'll stop right about there. Need a wing. We'll do natural and then dark. Natural color wing, dark legs, 1 feather. I'm going to tie it in. This is, if we do it like this, it's flat. If we do it like this, it's vertical. Flat's okay, but I like vertical. Measure out the wing. Wing length should be slightly longer than the body, or same length. That's pretty tall wing, but it'll work. Trim it out. A couple wraps in front to stand it up. I'm not going to trim the shape. This is the tip, so you get a nice shape. Then we'll do our legs. A little bit darker. This is another feather. We don't need all of it. We just need a little bit. Clip it. Trim it out. And then split your thread. Create a loop. Insert the material, close your thread on top, remove the clip, check our distribution, give her a spin. Spin it up. The fibers are quite long and they spun up on the thread. It's not a big deal, there's enough there. And then I'm going to start wrapping as a hackle. I like to do 2 wraps behind the wing, but I think we'll do 3. And then I like to do 1 wrap in front. Two-thirds behind, 1/3 in front. I think that's a better way to describe it. Let's check our legs. Just knock off any of the extraordinary long ones, but keeping them, some long ones is a good thing. Yeah. It's got a nice profile. Good pattern. If you were doing it any smaller, like an 1820, you don't even need the legs, just tying the body and the wing. Save yourself a step. And whip it. Oh, we trapped one of the legs. Let's get it out. It's out. 1, 2, 3. Cinch her down. Trim her out. Boom. That's olive mayfly. Very common color combination. The size is a little bit big. Bigger than the natural, but you could use this as a searching pattern. If you're fishing a specific olive hatch, you'd want to go a little bit smaller. Good pattern nonetheless. Let's do one more like that, and then we'll do a couple with a biot body. Go ahead and get our thread started. Trim it out. CDL for the leg, or for the tail. We just had a feather. Where did it go? Here it is. Measure out the tail, nice and long. Tie in the tail. That's good. Finish up. Trim the butts. Dubbing. Tease out a bit. Loose rope. A little bit shorter than the first. Hopefully our measurements are correct. Tighten it up. One direction. The oils from your fingers will always make the dubbing darker, FYI. Dub the body. Still too much. Yeah, God, that is way too much. But do better next time. Wing. This is a tricky one to tie because it's a little bit shorter. But we'll draw it back to about there. Wraps in front, standing it up. Trim it out. Wraps behind, securing it in. Darker feather for the legs. Rather than using these long ones, I'm gonna travel up and use these shorter ones up here. I'm gonna use this section up here. Well, you could tie 4 flies with the one little feather. Clip it, trim it out. Split our thread. Insert the material. Close it up on the CDC, remove the clip, spin the thread. And preen. Wrap the legs. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.5. Let's get one more wrap. 2 more wraps in there. Let the thread unwind. Because we used the shorter ones, still there's a couple. Nope. Yeah, we gotta trim him out just a touch. Just a touch. Other than that, looks good. Here's a little bit of material right there. Get that out. Let the thread unwind. And give her a whip. Three-turn whip. Cinch down the whip. I like to do 2. And tie it off. Trim it off, rather. Finished. Let's switch it up a bit. We'll do a little bit bigger pattern. Get our thread started. I'm going to use this hackle for the tail. We're going to do a quill body. Well, we'll do a biop body. I don't know but kind of Eastern style biop body mayfly, maybe. Take a section of the hackle, just rip it out. That's a lot. And it's a little bit like unruly. But we're using it. Go ahead, tie it in. A little bit unruly and way too much and too short. I'm going to take it out. I should unravel the thread. Let's do our biot. Actually, we'll do quill. Turkey. We'll wrap a turkey feather. But this turkey is quite bad. This turkey is too dark. We'll just see what it looks like. A little section of turkey. We'll do tip first. There's a matte side and a sheen side. Ideally, you want to wrap the sheen side. So I think tying it this way, matte side facing away from you, is going to give us a sheen side wrap, I think. I'm hoping. Give it a wrap. A little drop of super glue would be good, or you could do a rib. We're gonna do neither. We'll wrap our feather fibers rather, for the body. One more. And finish. If you were just tying a fishing fly, you could just wrap a hackle, be done. You wouldn't need to add any wings. But these are not just fishing flies, they are some other kind of flies, gift flies, flies to look at. I'm gonna do hair. I'm gonna do a hair wing. Hair wings were popular in the 70s, I think. Do a hair on the wing. Get about a pencil width of hair, slightly less. We're gonna lose some of it. We'll pull out the shorts and the under fur, and we'll clean it up a little bit more. Clean it up a little bit more. You could do a tilt wing and a parachute. That could be fun. Yeah, we could do a tilt wing and a parachute. I was gonna do a wing and then spread them. But we'll do a tilt and a parachute. But you wrap the hackle behind the wing. So we need to shelve this, and we need to wrap a hackle. Let's wrap a hackle. We'll do a combo color. Oh, that's quite long. That's way too long. I think this one's too short. It's too short. This should be good right here. Yep, that's appropriate. So we'll do this dun colored hackle. As our one hackle. Tying it pretty far back. We're going to need some space for this wing. But we only need to tie the hackle in one location. And we'll do a couple wraps of this dyed grizzly. Give it a little variation of color. Okay, now we wrap the hackle. 1, 2, but that's 4 wraps because we have 2 feathers. Go ahead and trap. And trim. And then secure. There's one errant guy right there. We have our hair. Let's get back to the hair. Let's tube the hair to stack it. What a mess. I'm going to pull out more of the shorts. Insert our hair. I'm going to actually clean it up a bit and then insert the hair. Clean it up, insert the hair. Give it a couple bounces. Want the tips even. Hopefully it's enough. Work them out. Measure them out. Measure the length. This tie-in, you only want one area. You don't want to build it up. You want a couple tight wraps and then you want to travel the thread up. So, precision 1, tension 2, tension 3, collect and travel it up. Now we can trim this out. You can leave a little bump if you'd like, or you can cut it down flush. I think the bump is popular. That guy's bothering me. Everything else looks okay. That's a little bit high. Knock it down a little bit. Don't trap your bump. And try not to trap your hackles. And whip. mayfly, bigger, better for bigger patterns, drakes, things like that. I don't know what the heck I was doing with that turkey. It did give a nice body, but I don't know what I'm representing there. If you clip off the tail, you got a pretty good caddis pattern. Um, so let's review our ties for today, because we are stopping. So we started with our ants. We talked about them. This one's a foam ant with deer hair. This one is a CDC body with a parachute and a poly post. This one is a dubbing body with a hackle and CDC, short CDC wing. I think this one is the winner because it's the simplest. And then we did 2 olive mayflies, CDL for the tail, single wing, done CDC feather with CDC trimmed and spun legs. And then we finished with this weird one, a tilt wing mayfly with turkey feather body. Grizzly. Oh, it's like a grizzly, kind of gray, brown, and light hackle combined. Yeah, it's like or Adams, rather. Oh, I said a grizzly, it's an Adams. So, that's it. See you later.